Hello, my name is Max Wolf. I'm a TA for CS61A in spring 2015, and today I'm going to be talking about data abstraction from discussion 3. Okay, quick review. Data abstraction is the idea behind essentially allowing us to abstract away the implementation of our programs into objects that we can construct and then interact with. So in the case of unit, we're going to create a unit with a constructor, and we're going to have a set of selectors, get catchphrase and get damage, that allows us to get items out of our unit. So we'll sort of think about unit as a black box, and we're going to, so unit is going to have, we know that unit is going to have a catchphrase and a damage, and this get catchphrase and get damage are going to be things that we can use to sort of, without worrying about the implementation of unit, get the items that we want out of unit. Okay, so in this case, we're going to implement our unit with a list. So it's going to be a simple return catchphrase damage. And when we have define our selectors, we're going to have, since we know we're passing in a list for unit, we can call return unit. And it's a list, so we can zero index our unit to get the catchphrase, which is the first item out of our list. And if we want to get damage, we can return unit 1, and that's going to get the damage from whatever unit we've created. Okay, so let me give you an example of a unit. So if I create a unit Sumia, I'm going to make unit, and Sumia's catchphrase is okay, and he does 9,001 damage. Now, if ever I want to get the catchphrase out of Sumia, I need to call get catchphrase and pass in Sumia, and I'll get out as output okay. And if I ever want the damage from Sumia, I can call get damage and pass in my unit object for Sumia to get out what Sumia's damage is, which in this case is 9,001. So the great thing about using our selectors and using our constructor here is that we can change, whenever we want, we can decide to change the implementation of our unit and of our selectors without breaking all of our code. Great. So let's take a look at this problem right here. So this problem is asking us to simulate a battle between two StarCraft units, or two units that we've created. In each battle, a unit yells its respective catchphrase. So in this case, we have a Zealot fighting a Zergling. The Zealot has the catchphrase, my life for ire, and a damage of 16. And the Zergling has a catchphrase, grah, and a damage of 5. So when we call battle with Zergling and Zealot, each of them is going to yell their catchphrase. And then whoever is the winner is going to be passed back as an object to, and sort of, in this case, set into the variable winner. All right, so I encourage you to take a look at this and try it on your own. And then after you've done that, come on back. Okay, so what's the first thing that we need to do? We need to print out the catchphrase for our Zergling, or for our first unit. So let's print out get catchphrase, which we know returns a string. And we're going to call it for our first unit, because it looks like that's how it's done here. Get catchphrase first, then we're going to print get catchphrase second. So now this is going to print gra in the case of Zergling and my life for ire in the case of Zealot. It's important to note here that we used get catchphrase instead of calling print. So the other way we could have done this is if we had done print second and indexed, taken the 0th index. We know that second is implemented as a list, and if we take the second index, 0th index, then we can get our catchphrase out. This is really bad practice. You should not do this. It's data abstraction. It's abstraction barrier. This is abstraction barrier violation. I'm going to try that one again. Okay, so the other way we could have done this, which would be incorrect, is if we had done print second. Since we know it's a list, we can just get our 0th index from this list, which is a catchphrase, and then print that out. So this is a really bad practice. You should not do this. It's an abstraction barrier violation, and John will set your code on fire. Make sure that you always respect the interface that you've defined, respect your selectors when you use an abstract data type. Okay, so let's continue. So we're not going to do this. We've printed our catchphrase for our first and printed our catchphrase for our second. Now we need to return the unit who has a higher damage. So in this case, you'll see that it's Zealot. But let's do a comparison. So if get damage first is greater than get damage second, then we need to return first. So the first is going to win if it has more damage than the second. Otherwise, we're going to return second. And we actually want to return the full object back because it asks us to return the unit that's victorious. So not just the, you don't want to just return the catchphrase of the unit, and you don't want to just return the damage, you need to return the full unit. Okay, great. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to leave a comment on YouTube or in Piazza, and I'll clear anything that you have questions that you have. Okay, thanks for listening.